Hello everyone, Pavlov is you, and your daily dose of Ukrainian accent is here. Resistance is useless, so please relax and enjoy. Today we are going to talk about fresh new release by Fosi Audio, their desktop DAC and headphones amplifier combo ZH3. I really like Fosi's approach to audio, and they have a pretty successful models ZA3 and ZD3. It's respectively speakers amplifier and stationary DAC. And they decided to release ZH3 sharing the same shape, and you can use it either as some kind of desktop device with your headphones, but at the same time they've kept almost all features of ZD3 DAC, and it also works great as a DAC in your speaker setup. And at the same time, price is really reasonable. It costs $200, which is pretty good for a powerful amplifier that delivers up to 2.5 watts of power, and built on with AK4493 DAC chip. So let's have a closer look and see what we are getting in this large box. Box is pretty big and looks really attractive with this color polygraphy, but at the same time actual content is smaller, because when I first saw this box I thought that there will be some huge device inside, but actually it's mainly padding to protect it. So you'll get nice manual, then device itself. We'll show it to you later. So people who got this device in first batches will get limited edition knob with it. Also you'll get remote control, 6.3mm adapter, external power brick and power plug corresponding to your country, and USB Type-C to USB Type-A/Type-C cable with adapter on the end. So pretty nice accessory set here. So in real life ZH3 is not big, but at the same time it's not some kind of miniature device. It has, I'd say, average size for the desktop device, but at the same time Fosi built it in the case that is similar to their ZA3 and ZD3, so you can use them in one stack and it will look really appealing. It's made of metal, not super heavy, but definitely you can feel that it's not some really thin metal used here. Interesting shape of the front panel, nice accent between the screen and the knob, and as usual Fosi use black color with orange accent. I really like their approach to color schema. Also on the front you have balanced and single-ended output, rounded screen, and this knob, it's volume control. Of course it's based on the encoder, and also it can be pressed, so it works as on-off and menu navigation. Build quality overall is really well, nothing is shaking or rattling. On the bottom you'll get 4 rubber feet to provide better grip to the table. And on the rear we have a really big set of different connectors. It doesn't have Bluetooth option unlike ZD3, but you get linear line in, then optical coaxial and USB in. And also what is really good, you're getting single-ended output and balanced output. Also here are 12 volts triggers, you have both in and out trigger, so that the H3 can be easily integrated in some hi-fi setup with amplifier or vice versa. You can use it with streamer, for example, to turn it on and then connect it to power amplifier to your speakers. And here is power input. I usually like built-in power supplies, but in this case it's external, so on the positive side, you can upgrade power supply. Here is the screen. It's really crisp and has a nice brightness. Not too bright, but at the same time it's definitely visible and you can see it yourself. Even under the bright studio light, it still remains visible. Interesting interface. You're getting resolution, USB input, then bypass mode, output, and the volume. So you can change volume. When you press and hold, it's on off. I like that it boot up really fast, and after single press you getting to the menu. So you can select input, but we need USB. Output, it's headphones out, auxiliary, and line out. Auxiliary and line out differs that one has volume control, other doesn't have. Then you can adjust bass from +10 to -10 decibels, and the same applies for treble. And here this adjustments works pretty nice. I didn't measure it, but by ear they work close to the shelf filters. And if you continue rotating, you have additional menu. So it's not perfect because you're just rotating and you get to another 4 menu items. It's a bit counterintuitive, but at the same time, here is gain, low, medium, and high. Then USB version, 1.0 for beta connectivity, 2.0 for high resolution support. Also, sorry, okay, let it be 1.0. Different filters, they have nice names, but as usual, these filters are almost indistinguishable. And also bypass mode if you want to use it. So as you can see, pretty nice controls, and taking into account that it also features the remote control, it become even more versatile. When it comes to the sound, it's a great example of great DAC combined with a potent and well-tuned amplifier. It uses OPA 1612, which are really good op-amp chips, but they are replaceable, so if you get bored someday using ZH3, you can do some op-amp rolling to get a slightly different sound signature. But it's not some kind of mandatory thing, because 1612 is more than enough for like 99% of audiophiles. So sound is natural, but at the same time not monitoring, thanks to AK4493 that delivers also nice hint of musicality, especially on the mid frequencies, to make sound really lifelike and realistic and engaging. Let's talk about everything step by step. So bass goes to maximum depth, it's perfectly controlled with this power on tap, especially from the balanced output. You'll get a great control of low frequencies with really nice tight punches, with good texturing and really great amount of small nuances. At the same time, this device doesn't try to boost low frequencies or like to make them warmer, or I don't know, more colorful or something like that. Like natural bass, what is present in the record, it will deliver properly decoded and properly amplified. So it's absolutely versatile and suits to all genres and types of bass. And here is Daft Punk, Instant Crush, nice engaging tight bass with great impacts, really like you start tapping your feet when you hear it, and it's really well separated from the mid frequencies to build a good contrast. And Under Pressure by Queen, great bass riff that David Bowie really wanted to himself, but Queen decided to keep it. And it's represented nicely and really well defined with the rest of the track delivered also in a nice manner. Mid frequencies, as I've said, are pretty musical with good amount of small nuances, but that small nuances are not pushed forward. It's not dry or monitoring representation, and you're getting really properly analog sound. Not that type of analog where everything is smooth or soft, no. Just without any excessive harshness or unnatural focus on something. At the same time, instrument sounds really realistically as well as vocal. No attempts to boost upper mids to make sound spicy or something like that. And of course, it's really dependent on the quality of records to give you the full potential of the track. So trying different remasters is a great joy with this DAC. Imagery stage is not huge, but it's noticeably above average with really proper positioning, and depth is also really nice for this price with proper depth layering. First example for the mid frequencies is Reckless Love by Hands by Reckless Love. I really like this band. They are funny, they are engaging, they have catchy tunes, so modern type of glam metal the way it should be. Maybe I'm not sure about glam, but for me it sounds like classic glam metal. And distorted guitars, really nice vocal, everything is aggressive but not overdone, so proper sounds really in a proper way. And Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, really great 3D effects, nice staging, everything is positioned really well on the imaginary stage, guitar sounds realistic, vocal and other instruments too. Bass not bass, of course, treble has good extension, not maximum, but close to maximum. Of course, layering here is really basic and extended overtones are also simplified, but for this price range it's a great result anyway. Basic overtones are represented in a really proper way with good attacks and decays, so no excessive sharpness, no sloppiness. They are not softened and at the same time not boosted. But when something is harsh or sibilant in the record, of course it will play it the way it's recorded, so really like natural type of treble representation. And as for examples, first one is Nguyên Lê, Time. It's absolutely stellar and really unusual cover of Pink Floyd classics with a lot of different instruments and nuances and with a lot of things going to the high frequency area. So it's not perfect because this track requires more layering, but still result is really nice. And Miles Davis, Spanish Key, basically almost the same, so also really saturated treble, and also more expensive and more refined device is required to represent this track at 100%, but it still delivers really nice results for this price range. Also, I tried it in my speaker setup with Nu Prime IDA6 as amplifier and Elac Solano as speakers, and it's really good DAC for your home setup. It's natural, without excessive coloration, like really transparent, potent, with good technicalities. So pretty universal device in all aspects. In terms of pairings, it's pretty universal device. On the balanced output, it delivers up to 2.5 watts of power, which will be more than enough for vast majority of full-size headphones, except maybe a few really tough to drive models, but they require their own amplifiers. And with sensitive IEMs, I really suggest using single-ended output and lower gain settings. And in this case, background noise is almost inaudible, so I think it's also a good result for powerful amplifier. It's not absolutely black background, but really close to that. And if you're using in-ear monitors that are not super sensitive, you won't get any issues. So just don't plug them to balanced output without need, and don't boost gain to the high settings. And speaking about the conversions, actually main competitor here is FIO K7, and they are pretty close in terms of sound. They both trying to deliver pretty similar sound signature, but at the same time I think that ZH3 gives you more value because it's a more versatile device. It can be used as a DAC in your hi-fi setup, more easy. It has this screen, it has remote control, it has balanced line out, so you're getting more connectivity options. And also you can roll op amps, which is also a really good thing. So in short, ZH3 is a great device if you need to listen some headphones. If you just need a pure DAC, you can get ZD3, which also probably a great DAC. I didn't try it, but you know, it's like pretty expected. If ZH3 is great, ZD3 also should be a really good device. But it also has a Bluetooth option for your hi-fi setup. So great device with great value, tons of features, nice design. So in all aspects, it's a really good device I can easily recommend. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.